First pitch underway here from Jackson Flores, blown right by for a strike. Flora is coming into this game after a pair of two very good starts against UC Davis and UC Riverside, pitching 7 innings respectively in both of those starts. That one's fouled away. Got 5 strikeouts each in both of those appearances. Only 1 earned run combined across those 2 appearances, so that's a really great sign to see, and has really seemed to got his command down, especially with those breaking pitches. 0-2 pitch. Fastball misses just a bit upstairs, so it'll be a 1-2 count.
Vargas, our catcher again today. Vargas has been performing great, especially in this series. Had that super clutch 2-run RBI triple on the first game of the series. Was able to bring them to extra innings.
Yeah, and Charlie, we've talked about success from the catcher position this year, from the Gauchos, but also it goes to show just how successful Gaucho catchers have been within the last few years. 2-2 is grounded softly to short. Mendez will pick it up, fired on over to first in time for the first out of the inning. Nice play there made by the sophomore shortstop, Jonathan Mendez.
Mendez, phenomenal defensive guy and a great cleanup guy as well. Just a really solid asset to have on your team. Let's talk about some other names. Latrey McCullum, right now, this weekend, he's reached base in the last 31 games. He's on a 31-game streak of getting on base. The record is 45 in 2022 for our Gauchos. So it's very possible, given the number of games left, that he can reach that streak. But hopefully he continues that streak here today.
So Flora looks on and gets his sign. Fastball upstairs. We've talked about it in previous starts where Flora has struggled, but he does tend to let the fastball slip just a little too far away from him from time to time.
It's all about release, right, Mac? It's really important where that arm is when you let go of the ball. And I think sometimes Flora, he lets it go a little early. And that's why you get a lot of high fastballs, and he kind of falls apart with the fastball in general. But Flora, when he can lock in, he can do so really well.
Swung on and missed, strike 3. First strikeout of the day for Jackson Flora. So a nice start here as he's up, 2 down here against the heart of this Cal Poly Mustangs order. So the Mustangs changing up their lineup a little bit. Zach Daudet hitting leadoff for the Mustangs today. Ryan Fenn, the second baseman, hitting second once again, and then hitting third, it's Alejandro Garza, who has had, on both sides of the ball, a very good series so far against these Gauchos.
Phenomenal third baseman in Garza, and I think as a 3-hole batter, he's absolutely shown the kind of trust that the whole team can put on his shoulders, both on both sides of the ball. As a third baseman, he's got the arm, he's got the agility, but as a third, being in the third spot of a lineup, that means you have to keep it alive, right? Because you very well have the opportunity to have 2 outs on you, but you want to get guys on base for your cleanup man. And so your third base hole kind of guy is a dude who can come in clutch, and Garza's absolutely that guy.
Fouled back into the back netting. Be a 1-2 count now to Garza. Charlie, only standing at 5'9" is Alejandro Garza, but he walks up there with a flair. I mean, he's got, some drip to him, some nice accessories on his uniform.
Yeah, I would not have assumed the 5'9" stature.
That one lifted, popped up softly into foul territory. Holman will grab it over there at first. And a quick 3-up, 3-down inning there for Jackson Flora. A nice start there for the Gauchos on defense as they'll shift back to the bottom of the first, where it'll be Xavier Esker leading it off for the Gauchos.
Really impressive outing from Flora there to start us off. You love to see a 3-up, 3-down from your starter in the top of the first. Just kind of showing the confidence he's got coming into this game. So that's always a nice thing to see, Right now, Mac, our Gauchos offensively have been kind of struggling. So my question to you is, going up against this Cal Poly pitcher in particular, how do you expect them to adapt? I mean, this is Ethan Marmee for Cal Poly, What are you expecting from our Gauchos here, at least our starting three?
Yeah, that's a great question, Charlie. I would say the last 2 games, it's been a very similar offense for both of these teams. I think both of these teams have really just emphasized to try and keep it close. You know, it's going to be a really intense set of games here at CSUN Stadium. Both these teams are, fairly evenly matched, I would say, while these Gauchos are a little less experienced, I would say, than these Cal Poly Mustangs. They don't have the same pedigree, the same college ball experience that a lot of these Cal Poly Mustangs have experienced, and that's just going to happen with having such a young team that the Gauchos have had this year. There's a lot of third-year community college transfers on this squad, as well as there being a lot of freshmen who have already taken on pivotal roles for this Gaucho squad, probably a lot sooner than they anticipated. I would say that both teams have just come into this series with a lot of fight, knowing that there's a lot on the line. Obviously Cal Poly wants to stay within the top 25. They want to make a statement. And again, they want to hold on to that Big West lead. That's the biggest thing. The Gauchos, however, there is a lot more riding on this series than Cal Poly. They're trying to stay within that top 5 seed of the Big West, and they're trying to get higher than they currently are placed at 5. They want to get into a good seeding spot, and they want to be able to show teams in the Big West that, hey, despite our struggles so far early in conference play and despite the way we played against a top-tier opponent like a UC Irvine, we can play this Cal Poly team really well, and we can beat just about anybody in the Big West.
Yeah, Mac, I think it is important for us to have that kind of confidence that we can battle with anyone in the Big West, with anyone in general. And something else I think we should mention is CSUN Stadium right now, being that this is the third game of the Blue-Green Rivalry Stadium or series. It's packed. I've never seen it this packed before, not on any other important matchup, not on the first game of this series, not in the second game of this series, although I believe the second game was sold out as well. But, I mean, we've got people sitting right in front of us, way up here in the bleachers.
Yeah, you don't really see that every day. It's kind of a nice change of pace, I would say.
It's nice to see so many fans, especially so many Gaucho fans. I mean, obviously there's a lot of Cal Poly fans here today, but there are a lot of Gaucho fans as well.
Yeah, and you got to respect them for making the drive up here, Charlie. I mean, SLO is only about an hour and a half away from here, but, it was kind of a culture shift for me, especially coming from the East Coast. An hour and a half drive is a piece of cake for a lot of people, where an hour and a half drive for me is a road trip.
So much to learn, Mac, of the West Coast.
I still have a lot of time left out here.
I will say, to drive an hour and a half just for a loss is rough.
We'll see what happens here today, then. There's an 0-2 count here quickly to Xavier Esker, the leadoff man for the Gauchos. Breaking ball misses outside for ball 1.
That's something I've noticed from Ethan Marmee here, just from warming up and also from his battle with Esker here. He's got a really interesting delivery in his arm. It's very, very right angle perpendicular, and I think that makes his breaking ball that much more efficient.
Yeah, and Charlie, you make a great point. He kind of does come across his body. He's a tall, lanky right-handed pitcher, steps across and kind of throws across, which allows for a lot of frisbee slider action and a good fastball that, gets good arm side run. And 2-2 to Esker. Fastball misses upstairs, and just like that, we have a 3-2 count.
Esker is doing a phenomenal job here. I mean, 3-2 count. He was down 0-2. He's just really picked the perfect pitches, I think, to attack, and he's done a really good job of knowing where the zone is.
Payoff pitch here from Marmee is hit right back up the middle. That'll get through for a base hit. So a nice start here for Xavier Esker and the Gauchos, and Charlie, his hot hitting continues.
Esker, phenomenal guy for your leadoff man. Just so much confidence behind that bat and so much consistency. He has been a phenomenal asset for the Gauchos, and he has done such a good job as of late, getting on base early and just getting ball on stick. And now the man of the hour, Latrey McCullum. Let's see if he can, in this first inning, continue his long streak of games getting on base. And he's got Esker on first.
Marmee checks the runner at first. Esker running, and a perfectly executed hit and run there by the Gauchos, as Esker will get into third base standing up, and just like that, the Gauchos have runners on first and third here with nobody out.
Now, Mac, I think with that, that gets McCullum to 34 games. So, really,
32, I believe.
32?
31 coming into this game, and now this one makes it 32 with the base hit.
I thought it was 31 coming into the series.
Entering the weekend, you are correct.
So I think he's at 34.
You're going to have to slap me on the neck for that one.
I think he's at 34 today.
Entering the weekend, he was at 31, and you're right, this makes it 34. It's a great catch there, Charlie.
Well, I do what I can.
You're a smart man.
Yeah. For KCSB, I try.
Kosciuszko dribbles it back up to the pitcher, Marmy, who will hand it on over to first. McCullum got a great break on that one, and looked like Marmy was a bit confused there on the roll, but nonetheless, acting as somewhat of a sacrifice swinging bunt there for Kosciuszko, the three-hole hitter. So the Gauchos having two runners in scoring position here, one out, and a great spot for the Gauchos cleanup man to be in, Jonathan Mendez.
Yeah, to get guys in scoring position for Jonathan Mendez is exactly what you want to do, so props to Kosciuszko. But yeah, Mac, like you were saying, it was a soft little bumble to Marmy there, and I think he checked Esker to see if he was going to run, but I really don't think that would have been the move at all. I mean, the ball wasn't hit soft enough to be considered like a bunt, maybe advancement opportunity for Esker. So I don't know why he even checked third in the first place, and he should have tried for a double play.
Jonathan Mendez up to the plate now. First pitch coming, and way upstairs. Hit the left shoulder there, nearly missed his head. So Jonathan Mendez will take the free base, so the Gauchos have bases loaded here. And coming up to bat will be the five-hole hitter, Nate Vargas. And Vargas has had a tremendous year here for the Gauchos. He's been their primary catcher, has been a DH at times, and played some limited first, and hitting from the left side for the Gauchos. And, you know, he had a very productive Friday, and he had a very clutch game yesterday as well, leading to the Gauchos' 5-4 win over Cal Poly. So you're just going to hope that he is able to help the Gauchos break through here in such a pivotal spot early in the game.
Yeah, Vargas has been a phenomenal guy this season and this series. Right now, I think he's really probably your number one guy on the Gauchos who has the Mustangs number. So having him in a how you say, bases loaded situation, only one out. So obviously you don't want a ball on the ground to the infield here. But I don't think that might be. I don't think that's going to be a huge issue for Vargas.
First pitch coming. That one's lifted into the left center gap. That will be made there. But coming home is the runner, Xavier Esker. He will get to home standing up. And just like that, a sacrifice fly made there by Nate Vargas. And the Gauchos see themselves up 1-0 here early.
Beautifully done from Vargas there. Just a phenomenal batting approach, right? Get the ball out of the infield. That's all you got to do in a bases loaded situation. Only one out. Just get the ball away from the infielders, and that's exactly what he does. Doesn't matter if it's a pop-up. Doesn't matter if it's a line drive. You get the RBI either way.
So you have Mambo Italiano coming up now, and Jack Holman. Many of his teammates like to call him Jack Swolman.
Rightfully so.
That one's lifted high up in the air. Camping under it is Ryan Fenn. He will make the play in shallow right. But the Gauchos do get a runner across here and start the scoring early off of 2 hits there and a sacrifice fly from Nate Vargas. The Gauchos see themselves up 1-0. And Charlie, that was a very nice change of pace from the Gauchos offense. You saw them swing in, you saw them get aggressive there early and really jump on the fastball there. You know that these Cal Poly arms aren't necessarily going to blow you away, and that was just a really good job by this Gauchos offense to pounce on what is frankly a lesser pitching staff than these Gauchos have themselves.
Yeah, I mean, Cal Poly doesn't really have the speed behind their
quite as strong, and I mean, this is just going to be, it's going to be an all-game kind of thing. The Gauchos will not be able to take a breather for 1 second because this CSUN team is just relentless. And, you got to give a lot of credit to Andy Newman, second-year head coach at CSUN. In his first year last year, they won 19. Obviously, they beat us in the Big West tournament, and it was their most wins in a season in 15 years in his first year last year, and they've just improved upon that significantly this year.
So, guys, I have a quick thing I want to pitch to you, but obviously the Gauchos have gotten off to a pretty good offensive start considering this is a very stellar defensive unit for the CSUN Matadors. However, the Matadors are really killing the Gauchos with fast-paced transition basketball right now. How do you suggest that the Gauchos, or how do you guys think the Gauchos should try and combat that? Because as we've mentioned so many times throughout the year, the Gauchos are one of the slower paced offenses in the entire country.
I mean, I think they've really got to start hitting these threes. I mean, 33% on the night is not terrible. However, if you're going to take as many attempts as you need to keep up with this CSUN team, it just feels like every time they go down the court, they have a very, very good chance of scoring on this Gauchos defense. So you got to stay ahead of schedule with those threes. I don't know. It's going to be a tough one to keep up with. Obviously, 3 of 9 on the night so far.
Yeah, and I think the Gauchos should try and stay within themselves and play their game. I think they should really slow it down and keep playing half-court basketball and get CSUN kind of outside of their comfort zone, because what makes CSUN so effective is that they are so strong rebounding the ball that they don't need to crash the boards. They can just have 1-2 guys around there and then quickly move in transition. So you have to try and limit that and just take your time and slow them down so they're not quite as effective in transition. And for the Gauchos, I mean, you have to. The hard part is that you have to both crash the boards, because CSUN just has bigger bodies than you, so you have to focus on crashing the boards, but you also need guys to stay back in half-court defense, because you know that they're going to move so quickly once you miss a shot.
Yeah, so far, already some Gaucho fast break points. 7 points on the night compared to CSUN 0, so they've been playing a little bit out of their element in that aspect of the game. Interesting to see them do that so far.
So Fofana will go to the line here, shooting 2. Mahmoud Fofana, the 5 for the Matadors on most usual nights as he sinks his first.
Again, just a 67% free throw shooter is Fofana, but I'll tell you, the Gauchos have had kind of bad luck with free throw shooting by opposing teams. Opposing teams shooting almost like 80% from the line against them. One of the worst rates just for your opponent free throws in the country.
Fofana's second will go home, and CSUN just like that has their first lead of the ball game. Colin Smith to inbound, Swenson to handle. The Gauchos running out their usual starting 5. Fofana gets a hand on it. Smith out to Fontenette. Jones up on him. Out to Swenson, and that one will be an offensive foul call against Colin Smith. You do not like to see that.
Yeah, especially that's his second personal foul on the night. It's looking like Merle's going to head off the bench for Colin Smith to check out.
Yeah, just like that, 6-0 run now for the CSUN team. They've made 4 out of their last 5. After 7 or 8 really solid defensive minutes to start the game, the Gauchos, it's been pretty constant here of just CSUN doing their thing offensively.
So that'll be a moving screen violation on Smith, to be specific. Beard drives down low, out to Adams Jr. Fontenette draws the switch up here on Jones. Jones sidestep move in the corner to Beard. Beard spins, out to Adams once again. Drive down on Merle, out in the corner to Fuller. Fuller drives baseline. One-on-one here with Merle. Skids out on him, and a block here by Poto. And that one out of bounds. Last touch there by Poto, but such great defense there from the Gaucho Bigs.
Yeah, it's 1.1 on the shot clock, so CSUN's going to have it. Set piece inbound here, hoping for a quick shot. Good work there by the Gauchos. It's looking like maybe a bit of zone for them.
Gauchos got to be careful here on the inbound. Don't want to let up any good shots. Jones forces up a quick shot, nails it.
Wow, I mean, that's why your first team all Big West right there. Not a good shot. Merle right in his face, but didn't matter. Still drained it.
A good contest there from Merle. A just tough bucket to make, but Keontae sinks it.
That one will be a 3 for Keontae Jones. Anderson will try his first 3 of the game. The Gauchos needed that one.
Boy, it's good to see him making shots again. 1 of 6 from beyond the arc yesterday. So unlike him. Looking for him to have a big one today.
Beard with the right-handed floater. That one's too short, and rebound Swenson. Swenson has Adams right up on him. A big mismatch here. Swenson with the spin move, drives in the paint. Corner kick to Fontenette. That one's too short.
Fontenette from the 3 this season has been very hot and cold. Misses that one there.
Jones drives down low, kicks it out. Beard three, blocked by Max Merle. Adams Jr. will try a three. That one's too strong.
Merle's been playing pretty strong defense so far tonight. He's gotten blown by a couple times, but then he's recovered really nicely.
Yeah, he's finally using that length to his advantage. Good stuff there.
Looks like that one will be a foul on the floor. That one's going to go against Keontae Jones.
Yeah, lucky for Fontanet there, not an offensive call. Had it been, it would have been his second. Already would have gotten into some really early foul trouble for this Gauchos team, especially with Colin Smith. But you like what Merle's been bringing you out there so far. The loss of Smith a little early in this one hasn't been too detrimental for him.
So Merle will be credited with that first block. So he'll have 2 now on the game. Inbounded to Swenson. He thought about the 3. He's been confident out there as ever tonight. Now he pulls the 3, and he will be a little off. Merle with the rebound. He'll step out of bounds, and a foul on the floor. That one's going to go against Lewis.
That's a good break for the Gauchos because Merle was fully trapped there. 3 Matadors around him. He was seriously in danger of stepping out of bounds, but they foul. Bad foul by them. Gauchos will certainly take that one.
Yeah, especially getting close to that 7 foul bonus for the Gauchos. Currently 5 fouls of their own, but CSUN's got 6.
Swenson inbound, out to Tong once again, almost loses it. He gets it off to the point guard once again. One-on-one with Lewis, has the mismatch he likes. Swenson dekes, loses the possession of the ball, has to kick it out, gets it out to Fontanet. 8 seconds left on the clock. Fontanet going to work here on Jones. Out for Tong, who thinks about a 3. Out to Swenson. Swenson tries a deep 3-point shot. That one rolls out, unlucky, and that one will go back the other way. It'll be Matador ball.
Yeah, unfortunate there for KK Tong to extend his arm there and just gets in that one. Unfortunately there for the Gauchos, unnecessary foul that would have gone the Matadors away pretty much no matter what.
Yeah, and you know, KK's been doing a lot of that so far this game. He's really reaching over backs. I'm surprised it hasn't been called already because he's had some pretty similar, offensive rebound attempts so far this game, but that's the only one that was called so far.
Gauchos currently see themselves down 1. They have 19 points to CSUN's 20. Jones can't grab the lob. That's out to Washington Jr. Out off his hands. It'll be Gaucho basketball. Great turnover there forced by UCSB.
Yeah, so far Gauchos leading this turnover battle, +1 on the night, 4 for the Northridge Matadors already. Really like to see that. They're just getting into the passing lanes just enough to make this Matador team uncomfortable.
Fontanet with it on the right wing, up top for Tong. 3 guards, 2 forwards, out for the Gauchos. Then Stolzberg up top with it. Merle will try a deep 3-point shot, too strong, and that one's going to be a foul on the floor. Looks like that one's going to be potentially against Washington. We'll confirm in a second.
Washington will be in some real foul trouble here. That's going to be his 3rd personal foul.
Wow, that would be
monumental.
Oh no, yeah, I think that was on KK again.
Okay,
KK.
got it. That one makes more sense. Looked like that one was going to be against CSUN, so CSUN will now be in the bonus. Lewis will be shooting 1 of 1 the other way. And Tong's got to stay out of trouble here, already with a few fouls.
Bit of discrepancy with the scores on our live watch. It says CSUN's at 20, but according to the in-person scoreboards, 18 for him. So either tying it or extending their lead, but they miss it, so it doesn't matter.
Lewis misses the rebound. Lewis misses the shot, Merle grabs the rebound. Fontanet left wing, down low to Poto. Met by the double team. Fontanet drives down low, out for Anderson. Tries another 3, buys another 3.
They cannot keep leaving Anderson open like that. I really love his movement in this game compared to the last one. I think it's been so much stronger. Gauchos get some hands in there.
Fuller loses it. Jones recovers. Jones drives. Out. Retrieved by Fontanet. The Gauchos have numbers in transition. Fontanet up high. Merle down hard!
Oh my goodness, Max Merle, what an insane alley-oop thrown up by Fontanet. That is, I think, the best offensive play the Gauchos have had all year.
And it's got this Gaucho crowd loud and proud.
Clear the runway as Flight 9 has taken off here at Lee's Family Forum.